Did you know that by 2025, life in the UK could be almost unbearable? Picture this: your energy bills soaring higher than ever, housing prices spiraling out of control, and the job market being dominated by robots. It sounds like something out of a dystopian novel, but it's not fiction. It's our reality just a few years away. In fact, experts are warning that the economic challenges, climate disasters, and political turmoil brewing right now will leave millions struggling to keep up. The question is, are we prepared for what's coming? The truth is, most of us are underestimating just how bad things might get. The UK has been facing issues like inflation, housing shortages, and rising costs for years. But by 2025, these problems could escalate beyond what we can imagine. In this video, we're going to explore 10 shocking reasons why life in the UK is set to become unbearable. From rising costs to social instability, the UK is heading for a perfect storm. Stay with us till the end, and you'll learn exactly what's at stake and how you can start preparing for the future today. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Number 1. Economic downturn and inflation. Let's start with the big one, the economy. If you've been paying attention to the news, you've probably noticed that prices are already creeping up. Food, rent, transport. Everything seems to be getting more expensive, right? Well, brace yourself, because experts predict that by 2025, the economic downturn will hit even harder, with inflation continuing to rise, making it almost impossible for many to keep up. According to recent reports, inflation in the UK has been steadily climbing, and while there have been attempts to control it, the outlook is grim. In fact, experts suggest that we might be looking at higher inflation rates in the next few years, which means that the value of money will continue to shrink. Everything you buy will cost more, and your paychecks might not stretch as far as they used to. Now, this doesn't just affect you at the checkout. Higher inflation leads to a ripple effect across the entire economy. With rising costs, businesses will face tighter margins, leading to fewer job opportunities, slower growth, and reduced wages. Essentially, your money will lose its purchasing power, and what once seemed affordable will now feel out of reach. So what does this mean for everyday life? It means that by 2025, many people will find it harder to make ends meet. The dream of owning a home, going on a holiday, or even just living comfortably might be out of reach for millions. But there are steps you can take to protect yourself. Stay with us as we explore ways to weather the storm. Number 2. Energy crisis and rising utility costs. Next up, let's talk about something that affects every single person in the UK: energy bills. If you've already seen your electricity and gas prices rise, you're not alone. But what if I told you that by 2025, the energy crisis will likely get much worse? With ongoing global supply issues, increasing demand, and reliance on fossil fuels, experts are predicting that energy costs will continue to skyrocket, and it could make daily life incredibly tough. We're already seeing the impact of rising utility costs today. In 2023, energy prices hit record highs, with the average household energy bill soaring to nearly £2,000 per year. But imagine this trend continuing for the next few years. By 2025, it's expected that millions of people will be struggling to pay their utility bills, leaving some to choose between heating their homes or buying food. This is a reality that can no longer be ignored. So what can you do to prepare for this crisis? Energy efficiency will become even more important, and knowing how to reduce your energy consumption will be a vital skill. Whether it's upgrading insulation, investing in energy-efficient appliances, or even exploring alternative energy sources, there are ways to lessen the blow. What do you think about the growing energy crisis? Are you already feeling the strain? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let us know how you're preparing for higher utility bills. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more insights into what 2025 might look like. Number 3. Housing shortage and skyrocketing rents. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that hits home. Literally, housing. The UK is already in the middle of a severe housing crisis, and by 2025, the situation will likely be even worse. Finding an affordable home is becoming harder by the day, and with housing supply failing to keep up with demand, it's expected that both homeownership and rental prices will continue to climb at an alarming rate. To put things into perspective, in 2023, the average cost of rent in the UK rose by almost 10%, and home prices skyrocketed, leaving many struggling to find somewhere they can actually afford to live. And it's not just about the numbers, there's a fundamental issue here. We don't have enough homes for everyone. The government's target of building more homes has fallen short, and many areas are seeing a rapid increase in population while the housing market fails to catch up. This housing crunch will affect both renters and prospective homeowners. For renters, the dream of securing a stable, affordable place to live could be out of reach. For those hoping to buy a home, the reality is even harsher. Even with long-term savings, many will find themselves priced out of the market completely. If you're feeling the strain now, just imagine how much worse it might get in a few years. Whether you're renting or trying to buy, the housing market in 2025 could feel like a battle for limited resources. The question is, what's the solution? That's something we'll have to figure out as this crisis deepens. Number 4. Job market changes and automation. Imagine walking into your job one day, only to find out that your role is no longer necessary. Sound like a nightmare? Unfortunately, it could be a reality for many in the UK by 2025, as automation continues to disrupt industries across the country. With the rise of artificial intelligence, robotics, and machine learning, many jobs that were once performed by humans are being replaced by machines. And this shift is happening faster than most people realize. Industries like retail, customer service, and transportation are already feeling the effects. Self-checkout systems are becoming the norm, while autonomous vehicles are being tested to replace delivery drivers. And it's not just low-skilled jobs at risk. Many mid-level roles in sectors like finance, manufacturing, and administration are also on the chopping block. In fact, some experts predict that up to 30% of jobs in the UK could be automated by 2030. For workers, this poses a real challenge. The job market is becoming more competitive, and the need for new skills is greater than ever. While technology has created new opportunities in fields like IT, data science, and digital marketing, it also means that many workers will need to upskill or retrain if they want to remain employable. The question isn't if automation will impact the job market, it's how quickly and to what extent it will affect your industry. So what can you do to stay ahead? Adapting to the changing landscape and embracing lifelong learning will be essential for survival in this new economy. It's no longer about just doing your job, it's about evolving with the times. Number 5. Health and mental health struggles. As we look toward 2025, it's not just our finances and jobs that are under threat. Our health, both physical and mental, is at risk of deteriorating. The UK's healthcare system is already under immense pressure, with waiting times for treatments, surgeries, and even basic GP appointments reaching alarming levels. As the population continues to age and demand increases, it's likely that these struggles will only intensify in the coming years. But the strain isn't just physical. Mental health in the UK has been deteriorating for years, and by 2025, experts predict an even sharper rise in conditions like anxiety, depression, and stress. The reasons behind this are complex. Economic pressures, job insecurity, and the social isolation brought on by the digital age are all contributing factors. And with the NHS already overstretched, many people are finding it harder than ever to get the mental health support they need. This is particularly concerning because the impact of poor mental health goes beyond just the individual. It affects productivity, relationships, and overall well-being, creating a ripple effect across society. More people are struggling with burnout, and the concept of work-life balance seems increasingly like a distant dream for many. The next few years will likely see a rise in both physical and mental health challenges, and it's essential to prioritize self-care and well-being. From seeking professional help to making lifestyle changes like getting more sleep and exercising regularly, taking control of your health will become more crucial than ever. The question is, are we prepared for what's coming, and how can we better support ourselves and others as we navigate these challenges? Number 6. Climate change and extreme weather. Climate change isn't just a looming threat anymore, it's already here, and by 2025, its impact on the UK could be far more devastating than most people expect. Across the globe, we're seeing more frequent and intense weather events, and the UK is no exception. From heat waves and flooding to rising sea levels and stronger storms, the reality of a changing climate is fast becoming a part of everyday life. In the next few years, the frequency of extreme weather events in the UK will likely escalate, putting communities and infrastructure under serious pressure. Coastal areas, particularly in regions like East Anglia and the South Coast, face the threat of flooding due to rising sea levels. Meanwhile, inland areas will experience longer and more intense heat waves, leading to water shortages and health concerns, especially for vulnerable groups like the elderly and those with pre-existing conditions. The impact won't just be environmental, it'll hit the economy too. Damage to homes, businesses and infrastructure will cost billions, and the UK's agricultural sector may struggle to adapt to unpredictable weather patterns. Food prices could spike as crops fail, adding another financial strain on households already grappling with the rising cost of living. But what does this mean for you? It means that being prepared for these changes will become more critical than ever. From having emergency plans in place to considering the sustainability of the homes we live in, understanding the long-term effects of climate change will be key to surviving the coming years. The future of the UK's environment is uncertain, and by 2025, we'll need to be ready to face it head-on. Number 7. Political instability and Brexit fallout. Political instability is becoming a defining feature of life in the UK, and by 2025, this could become even more pronounced. While Brexit was supposed to deliver a new era of independence for the UK, the reality has been far messier than anticipated. Political division, economic uncertainty, and growing social unrest are all side effects of the decisions made during the Brexit process, and the fallout is far from over. The UK is still grappling with the long-term effects of leaving the EU. Trade agreements are still being renegotiated, supply chains remain fragile, and businesses are feeling the strain of new border regulations and customs checks. Meanwhile, rising inflation and job losses tied to the economic aftermath of Brexit are creating deeper divides within society. The nation is more polarized than ever, with divisions between political parties, regions, and communities widening. By 2025, political instability could escalate even further. With tensions over economic policy, immigration, and the future of the UK's relationship with Europe still unresolved, it's likely that the country will experience a period of unpredictable leadership, protests, and growing dissatisfaction with government action. This environment of political uncertainty will affect everything from foreign investments to social cohesion, creating an atmosphere of unpredictability that could impact everyday life. For ordinary citizens, the consequences are far-reaching. From unreliable public services to the rising cost of living, the political landscape will directly affect everything from job security to healthcare. In a time when we need unity, political instability might just make 2025 a year full of challenges. What's clear is that it's going to take a collective effort to rebuild trust and create a more stable future. Number 8. Social fragmentation and decline in trust. As we move toward 2025, one of the most concerning trends in the UK is the increasing fragmentation of society. Trust, once the glue that held communities and institutions together, is on the decline, and this will have profound effects on how we live, work, and interact with each other in the future. Over the past decade, we've seen rising polarization, especially in politics and social issues. Divisions between different generations, income groups, and even geographic areas are growing wider. People are retreating into their own echo chambers, engaging only with those who share their views, while mistrust and skepticism of the government, media, and even each other continues to spread. This erosion of social trust is dangerous because it undermines the very fabric of a functioning society. By 2025, these divisions could lead to a more fragmented and fractured UK. Communities that were once close-knit may begin to disintegrate, leaving individuals feeling isolated and disconnected. Social cohesion, which has been a cornerstone of UK life, will be tested as people struggle to bridge gaps between opposing viewpoints. Public services and institutions, such as the NHS and law enforcement, may also feel the strain as trust in these bodies erodes, making it harder for them to function effectively. What's more, this lack of trust and increasing division won't just affect how we vote or debate policy, it will affect our day-to-day lives. The UK in 2025 could be a place where people are suspicious of their neighbours, reluctant to cooperate and hesitant to engage in shared societal efforts, which will only make the challenges ahead that much harder to overcome. Number 9. Technology overload and privacy concerns. As we continue to hurtle towards 2025, one thing is clear. Technology is advancing at a breakneck pace. But with every new gadget and app, we risk losing control over our own lives. While technological innovation brings many conveniences, it also raises serious concerns about privacy, surveillance, and the overwhelming role tech plays in our daily existence. We're living in an age where nearly everything is monitored and tracked. From our smartphones to our social media accounts, data is constantly being collected about us. While some argue this is a small price to pay for convenience, many are starting to realize the extent to which our privacy is being eroded. By 2025, the situation is expected to get worse, with the rise of facial recognition technology, AI surveillance systems, and even smart cities, all contributing to an environment where personal freedom feels more like an illusion than a right. The threat to privacy is not just a matter of who knows what about us, it's also about how that data is used. As technology becomes more embedded in every facet of life, it's easier for individuals, corporations, and even governments to gain unprecedented access to our personal information. This can lead to identity theft, manipulation, or even more subtle forms of control. The key question we need to ask is, how much are we willing to give up in exchange for the convenience of a tech-driven world? In 2025, you'll have to be more vigilant than ever, protecting your privacy and finding balance in a world that's constantly connected, constantly watching, and constantly recording. Number 10. Global tensions and security concerns. As we look ahead to 2025, one of the most unsettling realities is the growing global instability. The UK, like much of the world, is not immune to the ripple effects of escalating international conflicts, geopolitical tensions, and the shifting balance of power. While the UK may seem far removed from hotspots like the Middle East or East Asia, the interconnected nature of today's world means that political and economic unrest abroad can have a direct impact on life at home. In recent years, we've seen a rise in global uncertainty, with conflicts, trade wars, and rising military tensions between world powers. Issues like cybersecurity threats, terrorism, and regional conflicts are no longer confined to specific areas. They spread across borders in ways that directly affect national security. By 2025, the risk of major global disruptions, whether through warfare or cyber attacks, could escalate significantly, putting the UK in a precarious position. Moreover, global economic instability could lead to disruptions in the supply chain, affecting everything from food prices to medical supplies. The ongoing conflict between major powers could also lead to instability in global markets, causing financial uncertainty and possibly triggering recessions that will make life harder for everyone. At home, the UK may need to prepare for a future of heightened security measures, stricter immigration controls, and more intense surveillance, all in an effort to safeguard the country against external threats. With rising international tensions, living in the UK in 2025 could feel like living on the edge, vulnerable to forces outside of our control, and constantly navigating a landscape of unpredictability and fear. As we face the uncertain future ahead, the challenges are clear, but so are the opportunities to adapt and overcome. What do you think will be the biggest hurdle for the UK in 2025? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. And if you found this video insightful, don't miss our previous one on how to prepare for a changing world. We put a lot of effort into creating content that matters, so please support us with a quick click, hit that subscribe button, and join us as we tackle these tough topics together.